William Shakespeare once said, "Your greatest strength begets your greatest weakness." Let's talk about what that means in this video. Are you okay? It's okay. They say too much of a good thing can be bad. Do you agree? I believe this general concept can apply to several aspects of your life, from your career, personal relationships, and also your health. Let me give you an example. Let's say Mikey, just a made-up person, is working at an international advertising agency. He has a lot of enthusiasm, all his colleagues like him, and he gets most assignments done with ease. He gets validation from his colleagues all the time. Somewhere along the way, Mikey starts taking on more than he can handle, and his reputation for being the perfect team member morphs into someone who can't get assignments done, drinks way too much coffee in the office, and doesn't take constructive feedback positively. There's an example of where your greatest strength can become your greatest weakness without even realizing. This is not me. I did work in an advertising agency. I didn't drink too much coffee. I was anxious, but this is not me. So in the example that I gave you, Mikey was super enthusiastic and he got most tasks done. Maybe it got to his head a little bit, so he started taking on more than he can handle. He was used to getting validated for doing good work, but then when he didn't do good work, he couldn't accept feedback. It was kind of a downward spiral. Now each of us has a set of unique strengths. You should leverage that skill. It makes you interesting and it can add a lot of good. But without you realizing, sometimes your strength can become your weakness. You know, life is unexpected. There's twists and turns. You can't really predict everything. What I've learned, and this is something that this was a hard pill for me to swallow, is that just because you're a nice person and you try to do the right thing doesn't mean everything's always going to be right for you. That's really tough to handle. A couple more examples of how your greatest strength can become your greatest weakness. You could be good at speaking, but maybe not so good at listening. You could be really into organizing and planning, but you're not spontaneous. If you're too nice to people, they can walk all over you, and you don't have firm boundaries for yourself. And if you're too empathetic, you can be too emotional sometimes. Most of those things are me that I just described. Let me give you another example about superheroes. Everyone loves superheroes. Let's say Batman, the Dark Knight. So what are 3 character traits that describe Batman? Well, I would say one would be a strong moral code. He always wants to do the right thing. It doesn't matter who's watching or judging him. 2 would be passion. Adding on to his strong moral code, he goes to whatever extent is necessary to achieve his goal of protecting Gotham. And then 3 would be an obsessive nature. Adding on to his passion, he's willing to hide in the shadows, restrict himself from engaging in deep relationships with people in order to achieve his main goal. You can see from his childhood, his parents being murdered, he really has an obsessive nature. He's stubborn at times, but he wants to do the right thing and he won't stop at any cost until he achieves his goal. That's the Batman. He does a lot of good and he protects Gotham, but at what extent is it affecting himself? You know, is it really happy? From a health standpoint, too much of a good thing can be bad. I think in terms of diets and fitness and everything, there's so many different diets and trends, from vegan, gluten-free, paleo, you know, these sorts of things, and I'm not going to speak on the validity of which diet is the best, but from my perspective, I think we're all different humans, and what works for me might not work for you. Like a vegan diet might work for me, but so I think you should keep that in mind, and I think you should test it for yourself. You should try it out for yourself. Just hearing it from me won't necessarily mean that it's going to work for you. Like eating too much fruits and vegetables, you're really restricting yourself of protein, or eating too much protein, you're really adding a lot of fat. Where do you really find the balance? Okay, there's different diets that say this and that, but you need to find a balance. I read somewhere that eating carrots are really healthy. They have vitamin A, beta carotene, really good for your skin, really good for your vision. But if you eat too much, your skin turns orange. Okay, you don't want that to happen. So too much of a good thing can turn bad. So it needs to be a balance. So with all those examples said, how can you be aware of this to not self-sabotage yourself? I broke it down into 3 points. Number 1, do a self-assessment. Know thyself. That's the most important thing in anything, and I'm learning this too. But basically, what I think is important is to understand who you are as a person. I think it comes with life experience. I think it comes with really observing your past experiences, what you've done, how you've reacted. Think about, are you the type of person who likes to procrastinate, or you like to prepare everything in advance? Are you the type of person that is very outgoing and positive, likes to speak in front of audiences, or you like to be in the back and you're a little bit shy? Are you the type of person that's confrontational and says what they feel when it doesn't resonate with them, or do you let things happen? So these are questions that you want to ask yourself in order to understand how you think and how you act in certain situations. Me, myself, I'm very hardworking, I'm very disciplined, but I can be a little bit stubborn sometimes. I always set a goal and I try to achieve that goal, and sometimes I could be too tunnel vision and focus on this goal and not see what's happening around me and not being able to adapt to change. So I realized this through mistakes. I wish I had my eyes open. I wish I wasn't so headstrong sometimes. My zodiac sign is a Taurus for Western astrology, and for Chinese astrology it's the ox. So I'm very stubborn. I'm learning to be flexible and adapt to change, because it's still very beneficial to be very disciplined with my time and energy, but it comes at a point, like, is it worth it? So you need to understand your strengths and weaknesses. After you know who you are, and I think life is a process, life is a journey, so it's an ongoing process of knowing thyself. You want to incorporate more balance into your life. Positive and negative are on the same coin, heads or tails. So it's important to practice being flexible, being open to change, looking at things from a new perspective, being open to hearing others' opinions, challenging your own beliefs, because you need to understand the different perspective. If you can understand the different perspective, you can adapt to change. If you can adapt to change, you can calibrate when to use your strength, be like a chameleon, and be a little bit like this. If you're testing a new diet, you want to observe how you feel. You want to keep track. You want to monitor this. It takes time. Like for me, take my personality, very disciplined, very goal-oriented. There's a time and place when I'm hanging out with my friends, I need to be able to just relax my mind and not think about what I have going for me and just have fun. That's part of it. And lastly, number 3 is practice. So practice makes perfect with everything, and you're not going to receive change overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. So the more aware you are and who you are as a person, the more balance you can incorporate into your life. And if you do that repeatedly, consistently, which I call practice, you'll be able to calibrate when to use your strength and when to use your weakness, and you'll be a better person for that. I strongly believe that. There was also an inspiring story that I read by Arnold Schwarzenegger, famous bodybuilder, governor of California. Some of you may not like him, but I just want to talk about his fitness journey. Arnold Schwarzenegger, he looked very good from his upper body, but his calf muscles were very small in proportion to his upper body. In order to fix this, he found his mentor. What's his name? Reg Park? Let me check. He found his mentor, Reg Park, from South Africa, and he asked him, how can I have big, strong calf muscles? And Reg Park told him to train the calf muscles like he would any other body part, like his biceps or chest, and go heavy and hard. He incorporated that as a main body part and put in 6 days of work, hard and heavy. He was doing calf raises, I believe like 500, 600 pounds, to the point where his weakness, his calf muscles, became his biggest strength, his biggest asset, and people are like, wow, you have amazing calf muscles. So anything can flip. The positive can flip to negative. The negative can flip to positive. I hope this video made you think. My biggest takeaway is to adapt to change. Maybe I'll do a video on that, and know thyself. If you like this video, please give me a like, subscribe to my channel, and thank you, my dog, Light, for hanging with me today as I talk. Take care, everyone. Much love. Peace.